Nelson Mandela was a South African anti-apartheid revolutionary, political leader, and philanthropist who served as the country's first black president from 1994 to 1999. Born in 1918 into the Thembu royal family, Mandela became a prominent figure in the African National Congress, ANC, fighting against the government's apartheid policies through nonviolent protests. After 27 years in prison for his political activism, he was released in 1990, leading the country to its first multiracial elections and a peaceful transition to majority rule, for which he was awarded the 1993 Nobel Peace Prize. Nelson Mandela was born on July 18, 1918, in Viso, South Africa, to a chief of the Thembu royal family. He studied at the University of Fort Hare and the University of Witwatersrand, becoming a lawyer in Johannesburg. In 1944, Mandela joined the African National Congress, ANC, a black liberation group. He became a prominent leader in the fight against the apartheid system of racial segregation and white minority rule. Mandela was arrested in 1962 for his political activism and was later sentenced to life imprisonment in 1964 for plotting to overthrow the government. He spent 27 years in prison for his role in the anti-apartheid movement. Mandela was released in February 1990, after which he played a crucial role in dismantling the apartheid system. In 1994, Mandela became South Africa's first black president after winning the country's first democratic elections. He worked to end the legacy of apartheid, focusing on equality, poverty reduction, and reconciliation between racial groups. In 1993, he was jointly awarded the Nobel Peace Prize with then-President F.W. de Klerk for their efforts in ending apartheid. Mandela is remembered as a global icon of peace, forgiveness, and human rights, continuing to inspire civil rights activists worldwide. He died on December 5, 2013, at the age of 95, after a prolonged respiratory infection. Nelson Mandela gave series of speeches. One of the famous speech President Mandela gave was, "I am prepared to die." It was a 3-hour speech given by Nelson Mandela on April 20, 1964 from the dock at the Rivonia Trial. 1. The speech is so titled because it ended with the words, "It is an ideal for which I am prepared to die." It is considered one of the great speeches of the 20th century and a key moment in the history of South African democracy. During my lifetime, I have dedicated myself to this struggle of the African people. I have fought against white domination, and I have fought against black domination. I have cherished the ideal of a democratic and free society in which all persons live together in harmony and with equal opportunities. It is an ideal which I hope to live for and to achieve. But if needs be, it is an ideal for which I am prepared to die.
Sometimes sour, sometimes sweet. Split personality. Sometimes sour, sometimes sweet. Reminiscing the good old days, remembering to forget all the bad ones. I remember when college seemed so important, but is it worth it? Been wondering what truly matters to me. I know for sure it's not a fancy degree. I'd like to do what I love, but what if I'm not good enough? Split personality. Sometimes sour, sometimes sweet. An M. Night Shyamalan story called Everything's Peachy. Can we just skip straight to the plot twist, please? Life's all about balance, and real love takes practice. We know accidents happen, but my love's on purpose. Reciprocate the feeling, find peace beneath the surface. Everything's peachy, everything's peachy. Split personality, sometimes sour, sometimes sweet. An M. Night Shyamalan story called Everything's Peachy.